Well, there it is, one of the worst jobs reports that we have seen for the U.S. economy in a very, very, very long time.
I just got fired without warning.
It only took me 874 applications to find a new job across 9 months. The job market's fantastic.
So, with the recent jobs report coming out being absolutely abysmal, I thought we should take a look at the current job market. People getting fired, not getting hired, and all the other problems that come with this situation. We have a ton of stuff to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos, and I don't want to waste any more time on the intro. Let's just jump into the jobs report.
The jobs report was released this morning for the month of July, and the results were bad. I mean, it was worse than bad. It was terrible. Not only did the results come in below expectations, but the report says that they overcalculated the amount of jobs that were created in May and June by 258,000 jobs. Okay, so in the month of May, the US government reported that the labor market added 144,000 jobs, but in fact, it was only 19,000. They reported that in June, the labor market added 147,000 jobs, but in fact, it was only 14,000. Okay, now let's cover the jobs report for the month of July. So for the month of July, the US labor market added a net 73,000 jobs, and this came in well below expectations. It was ranging from 110,000 jobs to be added all the way up to 140,000. And I just want you to keep this in mind, that I expect, and probably so many other people, that this July figure, like the 73,000 jobs added, probably gonna be revised downward and heavily. It could even be negative.
Because how many times have we heard this again and again? Jobs report comes in really strong. Oh, the economy's doing really well. And then, a couple months later, it gets revised down hundreds of thousands of jobs. And I guess we're all just supposed to ignore that and just see the initial statistic and believe that everything's okay. I mean, I've been hearing the same story since I basically started making videos on this channel. And now when the initial report comes out that there's only 73,000 jobs, whenever they do revise it down, it's probably going to look non-existent. So there are barely any jobs being created currently, all while tons of people are also getting fired.
Good morning. Well, the verdict's in. I no longer have a job. I got a text message after 15 years of working for somebody loyally. Text message. No meeting, no phone call, just a cowardly text message telling me I don't work there anymore. What a guy. Sounds like a guy I should have quit on a long time ago, right?
Imagine working somewhere 15 years and all you get is a text message saying, we don't need your services anymore. I'll see you later. And I agree with the top comment from this clip. Everyone's replaceable. No such thing as loyalty anymore. Welcome to the club. Lost mine last week. Go to work tomorrow when he says he sent a text to you. Tell him you never got it and let him fire you in person. Because it definitely seems like they wanted absolutely no conflict. I mean, this is an even lower level compared to the Zoom call firings. And we have a comment from one of you guys as well. I'm a software developer with 25 plus years of experience. I've worked at NASA, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo, just to name a few. Haven't been able to find an IT job in 2.5 years. The amount of different examples that pop up every single day on social media, the comment sections from you guys is just unbelievable. Here's another. When I quit my job for a new role, the new company eliminated it a week and a half before my start date and apologized for the inconvenience and poor timing of me being unemployed. This goes hand in hand with other examples of people moving across the country, their entire family as well, having to sell their house or get a new apartment, and within a few weeks of the new job, they downsize or cut the position, and you're just left stranded. But some of the comments from this situation, a friend sued a very big company for this precise thing and won. You can sue if they already gave you the offer via email. This happened to me with my dream job. Finished my 2 weeks, background check done, references, physical, sign a letter done. Called HR the weekend before, and they no longer had the budget. It really honestly never ends.
90 days ago, I took a job. I left a $120,000 salary job, super secure. I left to join another company that I thought was a really good culture fit. 90 days ago, they gave me a higher salary, they allowed me to work remote, and I was leading a team again, doing all the things that I wanted to do. I was like really excited. And then the last 90 days, I've been pushing and doing all of this stuff to get everyone involved and kind of create a movement and just reinvigorate the whole team, right? And then today they told me we're eliminating the position because of the bottom line. 90 days after I took the role. So this is just a reminder to myself and literally everyone out there that might see this video Think twice before you just leave a secure job to take something else that seems more fitting. Just think twice, because they might f you over. I don't know. Bye.
So for this example, I could understand a little bit more. I know her previous job was very secure. Making $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year is pretty nice right now. But she moved on to something that she really wanted to do, including a pay raise. She was getting paid even more, but I guess in the end did not have the same kind of stability, even though it really doesn't look like too many jobs have loyalty or stability at the moment. Either way, she's out of a job and has to go back into this awful job market. We can look at some of the comments. No job is secure. Every company exists for a reason. Money. No one cares about anything else. You could stay loyal at a job for 25 plus years, nearing retirement, and they could fire you before you're ready, at an age that makes it hard for you to find a replacement due to ageism. Happened to several people I know. We've also seen many examples of that. I made a dedicated video on the same topic. The example earlier in the video, maybe the guy wasn't nearing retirement, but 15 years of loyalty and you got fired over a text. Oh man. We have another comment from one of you guys. I love how the news says unemployment is at 4% when so many people are out of work with numerous layoffs all over the place. And that's a good transition right into the next clip.
A quarter of employees in the US are functionally unemployed right now. 25%. Now, you may look at the US Bureau of Labor Statistics and say, nope, unemployment is at 4.2%. But how is that even possible? Like, their number stays steady for months, even though thousands of government workers have been laid off, even though tens of thousands of employees have been laid off across the country, and we're still only at 4.2% of unemployment. Really, the real number is actually 24.3%. And here's why. The Ludwig Institute for Shared Economic Prosperity measures the true rate of unemployment. This accounts for those without a full-time job currently, but they want one. This graph shows the true rate of unemployment versus the headline rate. You can see how big the gap is. So while it appears that unemployment is low, I'm sounding the alarm bells that this chart says a lot, not just about unemployment, but underemployment, those who are working in jobs they are overqualified for, and inflation, and unrealistic job demands. Like, we are not in a good place right now. So if you are struggling with unemployment and you think that you are just the meager 4.2%, just know that a quarter of your peers are in the same boat.
So to explain this a little bit more, if you're working part-time at all or some sort of side gig, DoorDash, Uber Eats, you are considered completely employed, at least in the eyes of these statistics. The same as somebody working full-time, making $10,000 a month plus benefits. But no one's making enough money to survive with that part-time job, but what other choice do you have? If you can't find full-time employment, working as a cashier at McDonald's is still better than $0 an hour, but that means you don't go into the stats as unemployed. And that's why it's really so much higher than the 4% we hear constantly. And every year that there's a new round of graduates, these stats are going to rise because of how hard it is to find a full-time job with a livable wage.
Who has a job right now? I'm currently a college senior at MIT, and I'm going to be graduating this upcoming year, and literally have applied to over 300 jobs, and I've either been rejected or haven't heard back. It just really sucks because applying to that many jobs and so frequently and to not hear anything, it kind of makes you think that you're the problem, even though it might just be the job market. School is so expensive and I'm currently paying for it all myself. So it's really hard when nobody's hiring for me to be able to make that money to send myself through school.
So I don't know if that means she's racking up the student loan debt just to be able to go to school, or she's actually paying it herself, because the tuition for MIT right now is a little bit over $60,000 a year. So I really don't know how that would be funded. But anyway, at least when I was in high school, I was told that if you went to those very prestigious Ivy League type schools, that there would be companies lined up for you as soon as you graduate, just waiting to give you your $250,000 a year job. And so far, I've seen a very similar clip from a Harvard student, a Princeton, and now MIT student. It honestly looks like it really doesn't matter where you go to school anymore. The job market is absolutely destroying everyone right now.
So I just came out of the City of Burbank job fair and media expo where there were no jobs available. It was about 2,000 people, including me, holding resumes, and a bunch of tents of people, I guess, promoting their businesses, I guess, and no one was hiring at all, including the company that just laid me off. were about 100 people in line to talk to them. And then there was just like a lady from there being like, if you're trying to drop off a resume, just go online. It's all online. I talked to a lady from the Burbank Library. She's like, we're here to answer questions about the library. And I was like, okay, are you guys hiring? And she was like, I don't know, go online. Anyway, it was awful and demoralizing, but I did it. I gave it a try. I can say I tried. Do better, City of Burbank. There are a lot of people out there looking for jobs right now, and I think I was not the only one who expected there to be some people hiring at the job fair. Thank you.
So what's the point of setting up shop at a job fair if you're not actually hiring? And the other statement of, oh, just apply online, we'll talk about in a second. Am I just not understanding? Is it some sort of business write-off that I'm not getting? Or I guess advertising, even though everybody who would be at the job fair is kind of there for one singular reason. But there's another clip up on screen of a news story. There were 5,000 jobs that opened up and 54,000 people applied for them. So whenever we see a job opening on Indeed, and it's been a couple hours since it was posted and there's already hundreds and hundreds of applicants, it's basically happening everywhere now. And to make things worse, if you're applying for a large company, most of the time they're just using AI and keywords to sift through all the resumes, so it's almost impossible for you to even get noticed in the first place. But we have an example of a smaller company and all the resumes that they get.
We got 700 applicants on a LinkedIn job posting that I posted a day and a half ago. 700 plus another 50 in our email inbox. And one thing that nobody talks about when you're a company this size is that guess who's going to try to go through all of those 700 applications? And Molly. We're going to split it. We're dividing and conquering.
So within a day and a half, 750, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that there'd be over 1,000 applications, maybe a day later. So even if she's splitting it between another employee, do you really think your resume is going to be seen? What is that, a 0.1% chance of you getting hired? I know this is pretty depressing, but it honestly sounds hopeless. And this is supposed to be a better situation, at least a human beings looking at these resumes now, because that's probably going to be a thing of the past very soon.
Our management team has decided to replace our jobs within billing and give it to what they call a global team, which is essentially people that are in like India. Fine, whatever. So I'll do something else in the company. But they just asked us to join this group chat with all these people that are in India so that we could train them. No. Like, you're giving them my job and then you want me to train them on top of it? No, hire someone, figure it out. That's your problem, not mine. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Like, that's ridiculous. It would be different if I was quitting and I was training my replacement, but I'm not. You chose to take my job away and give it to people in India who will work for a lot less. So train them yourself.
And she's in a better situation than most people would be. She said that she would just move to a different department in the company, but a lot of people would just end up getting canned because of it. And not only that, before you get fired, you have to now train the person on the other side of the world to do your job a lot cheaper. I mean, the nerve of some companies, it is just unbelievable. We have another comment from one of you guys. My sister's company tried to fire her. They thought they'd save more money by getting rid of the biggest paycheck. They forgot that her contract clearly states the clients are hers. She quit and took her clients with her. So at least that's one positive story in this video, honestly, because I could have made an hour-long video of examples like this.
So I just got laid off from Microsoft.
So I was fired today.
I've been laid off. As a civil engineer, I was always told it's almost impossible to be laid off as a civil engineer. Well, unfortunately, within 2 years of graduating school, I've become a statistic.
Some of the comments from these clips, who's watching videos of people getting fired because they just got fired? Got fired on Monday, my wedding is November 3rd, and I'm in the middle of buying a house. I've never felt this level of panic. And going back to the first clip with the Microsoft layoffs, and they just filed for 2,300 H-1B visa workers. Very similar situation to the previous clip as well. Another comment from you guys, this is a great case study on why a 6-month emergency fund is a necessity. be, because it really looks like you don't know when your time is up now. Doesn't matter how long you've been there, they don't need to give you notice. A text message or a Zoom call could be all it takes, and you'd have to start searching on LinkedIn and Indeed again. Just a nightmare.
Well, it's official. The 2025 job market is frozen. I've been saying this for the past few years, but now the data is lining up, and this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Over the past 3 months, the job market has only added 35,000 new jobs. That is the slowest rate since the global pandemic. And you'll remember during the pandemic, more and more companies were putting people on furloughs and nobody was hiring because of that magic word, uncertainty. And right now I'm hearing the word uncertainty a lot from executives. Uncertainty about global wars, uncertainty about tariffs, just uncertainty about the future. We're also continuing to see companies become extremely profitable, like Meta, Microsoft, and those same companies are shedding large percentages of their people in mass layoffs. It means that companies are laying people off even if they're profitable to get more profitable. And now they can do that by augmenting the work that's been done by some humans with AI and automation. All of this means that the 2025 job market is absolutely brutal, cooked, frozen, whatever you want to call it. So if you have a job, I would start getting your resume ready, start networking, and really prepare for the worst. Because in the short term, it's not getting better, and we're hitting what I would consider rock bottom.
So I don't have to tell you that this is a huge part of social media right now. A ton of content creators have all of their videos centered around the job market. I mean, there's basically an unlimited amount of content that you could look up, but there are definitely some crazy stories sprinkled in, people not telling the truth as well. So you really do need to be a bit more careful on who you're watching or what pops up on your For You page.
Here I am at 10:10 a.m. pulling into my corporate job, happy as a clam. Do you know what my favorite part about working in corporate America is they were like, oh my gosh, especially my company, they're like, we love work balance. We get it. We feel you. We are you. We love your family just as much as you do. And then they're like, you idiot, you fell for that.
So that video by itself isn't too crazy. Probably not the best thing to upload in the first place if we're talking about the job market right now and companies watching your social media, until you go over to the channel that says work from home mom of 2. So it kind of looks like the job is a lot more flexible than most people's. I bet a lot of people would want to be in her shoes, being able to work from home and occasionally get called into the office. I mean, I don't have to tell you, the return to office initiative has kind of axed a ton of stay-at-home jobs. I forgot to talk about this the first time I recorded, but let's look at some of the comments from this clip. My favorite part would be pulling into work at 10:10 and making a TikTok. You're free to find other employment. You arrive to work at 10:10 and complain they're not flexible. That's what I was thinking. Be careful, companies hate social media, and the creator responded saying true, and still has this video up to this day. Probably not something I would want HR to see. Be glad that you have a job. That's all there is to it. Be glad. Hope you never lose it. Corporate hours in the office is 7:15 to 4:45 in my world. You're lucky. So I just thought that that was an interesting case. I've made dedicated videos on my second channel as well, going over how you should probably not talk about your jobs when it comes to social media. And I think this is a perfect example right here.
I just quit my job in the parking lot of my job because Five Below you.
What a beautiful personality. I'm sure they'll be lost without you. Wait till you get your next job interview and they pull this up. I'll make sure it's private before. There are so many examples of people thinking that social media and real life is just two completely different worlds, and that's just not the case now in 2025. Saying things online, whether you record yourself in videos or even comment sections, can be found, and honestly will be looked for if you're trying to find a job in corporate America. So I probably wouldn't doubt that Five Below isn't the best place to work, but at the same time, you're kind of just shooting yourself in the foot for a 5-second TikTok. Now, this next one's a little bit unrelated to the overall topic of this video, but it was just too crazy to not put in.
In August 2020, I was fired from my job after I self-reported a mistake. I had accidentally used the company's Amazon account for personal purchases. Over time, it added up to around $9,000. I didn't lie, I didn't hide it, I turned myself in and offered to pay it back. What I didn't expect was for the FBI to show up at my front door. I had worked there for 17 years, and just like that, my whole life changed.
You didn't expect to have consequences for you spending $9,000 on the company card? I don't know. There's a whole lot more to the story. I feel like this is almost bait because of how ridiculous this situation is. Maybe she thought she would get sympathy for posting it online? My initial thought is good luck trying to find employment with any other company after putting this up publicly. Maybe some things shouldn't be shared 24/7 on social media.
So no one tells you how embarrassing it is to literally go through college all 4 years, get your degree, 3.9 GPA, into a field that's really growing, and there's a lot of opportunity out there for it. And then 2 years later, you still can't even get hired in that field. So doesn't matter that I had 2 internships throughout college, that I literally worked a job that was geared towards my field my senior year. It doesn't matter. Can't get a job in that. And now I am in the complete opposite field of what I went to school for. And no one really prepares you for the embarrassment that comes with it, because you just can't get anywhere. And it feels like you're going to be stuck forever. No one prepares you for that. So I am here to prepare you to be embarrassed for a while. Unless you're just lucky. Unless you are lucky, you graduate and you somehow get a job like immediately or really, really soon. Oh my, like literally no one told me that it was going to be embarrassing.
Okay, so right off the bat, this would be relatable to a lot of people, right? Until we head over to the comment section. What's your degree? Strategic communication. And then came the replies. Communication? Now girl, good luck. What is strategic communications? Emails? There are a ton of people talking about communication degrees being very similar to just liberal arts, something that you can get your diploma and graduate, but finding a solid job, especially in this market, is incredibly difficult. I've gone over that in a separate video as well. Many people's degrees basically being worthless while also racking up 5 to 6 figures worth of debt, and then being thrown into today's market where it's just an absolute mess for everyone.
I have been searching for a job for only 3 weeks, okay? In this laptop, this right here, this thing is about to go over the balcony and smashed on the ground. This close to smashing this thing, I'm gonna crash out.
So comparing it to the next clip I'm about to show you, she's going to be doing this for quite a bit longer. So her looking for employment for a few weeks is really nothing compared to a lot of people today.
It only took me 874 applications to find a new job across 9 months. The job market's fantastic.
And to finish off this video, because of how bad it is right now, the rise in scams when it comes to getting a job is only increasing, so you now have to be more careful than ever.
Here's a story about a woman out of Georgia that was looking for part-time work, and she just wanted to work a few days a week. Then one day, she received a text message offering her a remote work job. And I actually receive these scam text messages all the time. And that should have been the red flag right there that already tells you, like, wait a minute, how is somebody texting me? How do they know I'm looking for this remote job? But she probably thought, hey, maybe it's a place I applied to, right? And they even promised that they were going to pay her for the initial training of the job. Sounds pretty good, right? So the scam that this woman ended up becoming a victim of is called a task scam. You're getting an unsolicited text message like she got, offering you a remote work job in areas like app optimization or product boosting. And then what the scammers do is they lure you in with small payments in order to gain your trust, and then they request you to make large investments to the company in order to continue earning. Like, that should be a red flag right there. Like, what kind of job ever requires you to pay them, right?
So there's even more to the story. This woman ended up spending $30,000 to be able to work. I know that this seems like it has to be made up, but it really shows how desperate people are for work right now, and I truly don't know when it's going to get better. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.